Hey guys, it's me and today I'm here with my June wrap up. June was a little bit of a reading slump month for me. Like, if you follow my reading vlogs, you know that there were like 2 weeks I didn't read anything in. So I still managed to read 6 books in total, which I'm very happy with, which is a total of 2,154 pages worth, which is 359 pages per book on average, and an average of 71.8 pages per day, which is definitely like my lowest numbers in any of these categories so far this year. And for format, I have 2 books that I owned, 1 ebook, 1 gallery from non-gallery, 2 library books. And for ratings, I have 1 2-star, 2 3-stars, 1 4-star, and 2 5 stars, which amounted to an average rating of 3.66 out of 5. And I have 1 middle grade, 3 young adults, 1 new adult, and 1 adult. And for genres, I have 1 mystery thrillers, 4 contemporaries, and 1 non-fiction. So yeah, those are all the stats you need to know. I'll be leaving like links towards my reading vlogs in the eye above whenever I start talking about books, when the vlog happens, and there's timestamps and content warnings for each book that I talk about in the description, so you can go check it out as well. And that's all like the information I need to give before talking to you. So the first book I read in the month of June is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, which I give 2 to 5 stars to. This one I read for like a full month because I don't know what happened, and I read so many books in between as well, so I generally don't know why this took me so long to read, but oh well. And I picked it up because I had heard so many amazing things about it. Like, generally every single review I've seen of this book has been like, I absolutely adore this book, new favorite book of all time. And I've seen a lot of reviews for this book, so I was super excited for it, especially because it sounded right up my alley. Kind of like the premise reminded me a little bit of Only Murders in a Building, which is a show on Hulu that I absolutely adore. So this reminded me a little bit of that, but sadly I just didn't like this book. I think there's like a huge cast of characters in this book, and I feel like every single character felt very one-dimensional. Like, I couldn't really tell you a lot about these characters. There's a couple of characters that I kept mixing up throughout the novel because it was just so underdeveloped and I didn't really like it. I thought the story was quite boring and not a whole lot happens like until the very end, and that's mainly because whenever characters like make discoveries, it's like keeping a secret from the reader. And like when they find different clues that can help with the mystery, it's kept from the reader. It's just like, oh, I learned this thing, and then end of the chapter, new perspective, we're talking about someone else, we're doing something else, and we never get back towards that clue again until it comes to like the final reveals towards the end, where all of a sudden there's like this huge info dump of all like the different clues, when they're like, oh, you did it, and then in the explanation, like all of the different clues that the characters found throughout the novel that we didn't know about are like relayed upon us and like this huge info dump. And that's just personally not the way that I like mysteries being told. Like, and then the next book that I read is The Goal by Elle Kennedy, which I gave 4 to 5 stars. This is the last book in the Off Campus series. I've been reading these out of order, but I do recommend, even though you can read these out of order, I do recommend reading this one after the 3rd book, because the first half of this book is the same timeline as the entire 3rd book, and I feel like some things will just make more sense if you've read the 3rd book already. But I really like this, and I learned something about my reading from this because it's like a surprise pregnancy book, and I always thought I hated the trope just like everyone else, but turns out I like it if it's the point of the book, because that's like the point of this book is like about this couple who like accidentally, the girl gets pregnant and now like their life have turned upside down. That's like the book, and I like that. I think it worked really well. I liked seeing how one of our 2 main characters like kind of responded to this news, and how because they're about to graduate college, so they already have like a plan in mind about what they want to do for the rest of their lives, and how they have to adjust those plans to fit a baby in it. And I really liked seeing like all these different, like, not really like dilemmas, but like seeing the thought process of these characters like trying to figure stuff out now that something huge is changing in our lives that they didn't expect. I thought that was really interesting. And usually when I've encountered surprise pregnancy before, it's like the third conflict reveal, and I don't like that. So I think that's just like a difference in taste that I've discovered. But I really liked the romance in this as well. I think our two main characters did a great job at like communicating with each other and like respecting each other's boundaries and wishes, and I thought that was so well done. Like usually I ended up really liking Elle Kennedy's novels until like the third act conflict, because it always relies on like stupid miscommunication that could be solved so easily, but they just like don't. So having a couple that like just so clearly communicates in this book was very refreshing to read, and I really liked it. I liked how they were like, no, something's going on, tell me what's going on, I'm not leaving until you tell me what's going on, because like we need to resolve this, I'm not allowing you to push me away. And I really like that, especially because again they have this added element of like they're about to have a child together, so having that extra element in it, I feel like it would be like more mature if they like wouldn't communicate. So I really liked that was done. Then next I read Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls, 100 Inspiring Young Changemakers by Rebel Girls, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. It is a galley I got from the galley. I really love this book series. If you've been around here, you know that. And I was like in the middle of my reading slump, and I thought I'm gonna read this book, because usually books in a series like get me out of it because they're very good reads and like very quick to finish, and usually finishing books helps with my reading slump, and then also just like the fact that I love something will also like get me more hyped to read. I didn't like this one that much. I just feel like this didn't really have the same charm and like the same magic as the other books in the series have. I just felt like the stories were very simplistic, which the stories are never like super in-depth or difficult, but I feel like they have like this magical element to it. It generally feels like a good night story, like you're telling someone a fairy tale then about like a real life person. And this one just very much felt like straight to the point, and it's just like not something I enjoyed, and it wasn't something I like from the series. And next up, I read Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston, which I gave 5 stars to, and is officially the book that got me out of the reading slump. I really loved this book. This was also a very fun, quick read, and the main thing that I loved about this book were the characters. Like I was so attached to these characters, and I loved following them. Like Chloe Green especially was our main protagonist in this novel. She was fantastic, and I loved following her, and I loved seeing how confident and badass she was, but like also having these insecurities and seeing those play out throughout the novel as well is very interesting. And then the cast of side characters just like jumped off the page. They were so fun to read about. Everyone's so unique and different, and I really loved them. I also really liked the romance, which actually took me a little while, because in the beginning the romance isn't the main part of this book, but I knew it was gonna happen because I knew there was gonna be a romance in this. So in the beginning I was like, I know these two people are gonna get together, but like I don't see it. And then Casey McQuiston actually does a great job developing the relationship together and making you like fall for the relationship, and it works. And I really like that. I love the different friendships in here as well. The whole like group dynamic of these characters is so much fun. I really like the plot. I thought it was so much fun. It's kind of reminiscent of Paper Towns, like very different, but there were some like reminiscent pieces in there. And then next I read Hani and Ishu's Guide to Fake Dating by Adiba Jairigdar. I've heard that name so many times and I still can't pronounce it. I'm so sorry. And I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I was very excited to read this book because I've heard like all of this author's books like sound so interesting to me, and then on top of that I've heard just amazing things about this book, and I was just underwhelmed by this novel. I don't think it's a bad book at all, and I totally understand why people love it, but for me it just like didn't reach what I wanted it to reach. I feel like the characters were pretty underdeveloped, very one-dimensional, and the only things I could tell you about them are like the different character traits that they had that like serve the plot of this novel. And then on top of that, I also just don't think the romance was developed properly. Even though like I like the romance, I think they're cute together and had a lot of cute scenes together, I just feel like the moment of I have feelings for this person just like came too quickly and just came out of nowhere, and I was like, wait, since when are we doing this? Because like I saw no development, I saw no catching feelings, I didn't see any of that. So that kind of bothered me, and I feel like also a couple of like the side storylines were a bit unresolved, and I would have liked a little bit more for them. But overall this was a very fun read, and like I said, I did think the romance was cute and there were a lot of cute scenes between them. And I also think this has a lot of great messages towards like teen readers, so especially it's a YA novel, so I think that would be great. And it was a quick read as well, so I have nothing to complain about. And then last but not least, because it's probably my favorite of the month, is She Gets the Girl by Rachael, Lippincott, and Alyson, Derrick. 5 out of 5 stars. Love this so much. This is one that it's been on my radar for a while. It's one of my most anticipated books of the year, and I was so excited to finally get to it and love it, because there is nothing worse in the world than highly anticipating a book and then it just being not good. But this one I absolutely adored, and I want to push on everyone. It's so good. It's such a cute sapphic rom-com, like so good. I really love our two protagonists. They are very great characters, all very different from each other, but like complement each other really well, and I loved following the both of them. They also had like personal issues going on in their life separately, and I really like seeing them deal with those stuff and how they supported each other, but not like necessarily like, I'm gonna solve this for you. Like they still did each other's like personal problems like on their own, but like they were supportive of each other and like talked to each other about stuff, and I really liked how that was done. I really loved the romance. Again, this was so cute. Like that romance was adorable. I really loved them. They had so many great moments together, and like from those moments, I love these moments that are like, wait, they like the characters like feel something and like, wait, no, I'm not supposed to like this person. No, that's just not happening. I really love this kind of romance in books, and this one did it brilliantly, executed it brilliantly. There were so many cute scenes where they both kind of had this moment of like level of no. I really love that. And yes, this was such a fun quick read that I had just a blast reading. That is everything I have to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought of these books, if you've read them, as well as some of the books you read in the month of June. And I guess see you guys next time. Good.